right. Hi, everybody. Good morning. Welcome to UTM and congratulations on your offers of admissions. We're excited to have you here. Join us at UTM, and I hope you're all doing well. Thank you so much for joining today's course enrollment webinar on business, focused on business management and commerce programs. Just a quick introduction. My name is Safa Armanazi. I'm one of the academic advisors in the Office of the Registrar. And today I'm joined by a few wonderful colleagues who will be here helping support, facilitate the session. I'd like to introduce Catherine Pack, who is also another academic advisor in the Office of the Registrar. Catherine, if you'd like to introduce yourself.
Yeah, thanks so much, Safa. So, hi everyone. My name is Catherine. I am one of Safa's colleagues in the Office of the Registrar. I am an academic advisor. I am also a UTM grad. So, however you're feeling right now, I have definitely felt the same way, and I've been through everything as well. So, we're all in this together. I am going to have all of my other colleagues introduce themselves, and then also we're all going to share either like a personal recommendation or tip for campus. I will say, when it comes for food wise and study space wise, personally, Masood knows this. I really like Deerfield Hall. I feel it's a very underrated. Maybe I'm letting like a perfect gem like out into the open, but it was a really, really great spot to study. It's a bit quieter. There's lots of plugs everywhere, so you can like plug in your computer when you're studying with friends, and they have a really great cafe. There's a salad bar, they have pizza, they have all these great coffees. So Deerfield Hall is where it's at for me, and that's kind of my little pro tip of a hidden gem on campus. I'm gonna throw it to Masood to introduce himself and give his tips.
Thank you, Catherine. Hi, everyone. My name is Masood, and I am a recent graduate from UTM. I graduated in June last month, and I did a Bachelor of Commerce, accounting specialist, and economics major. So I'm pretty familiar with most of the things that you guys must be wondering because I was in the same place as you guys are 4 years ago. So feel free to reach out to me. And I forgot to tell you guys that I'm also the Eagle Connect squad leader for Squad 8. So if you guys are in the Eagle Connect, if you guys are in my squad, feel free to have an O3 with me. If not, still, you're welcome to book an O3 with me and have a chat. And when it comes to my favorite tip about UTM or my favorite spot, I would say if you guys like a quiet space or like a pretty enjoy being alone, I would recommend you guys check out the MN building and preferably floors 3, 4, 5 because they're usually very quiet. They have a very beautiful balcony. They have huge space for you to study alone or with friends, and they have a cafe as well on the main floor. So for me, it's a pretty underrated space. So you can definitely check that out. And yeah, feel free to chat with me if you have any questions, and I'm here to support you. I will be passing on to my colleague Nkune to introduce herself.
Thank you, Masood. Hi, everyone. My name is Inkune. I'm entering my third year, majoring in economics. I'm also an Eagle Connect squad leader for squad number 5. So, very nice to see you guys. You can also book O3 with me if you would like. And my favorite thing about UTM is the UTM library because it's my go-to study spot in any time of the year. And we have a nice Starbucks right in front of the library, so it's like a perfect mix of everything. You can get a look of our beautiful campus while sipping on a coffee. So please check out our library. I would highly recommend. And feel free to ask questions, and if any concerns you have, you can talk to us. Thank you.
Hi, my name is Suzanne Almazi. I'm an academic advisor in the Department of Management. So I support students with planning their academics as it relates to kind of the commerce and management program. So I'm sure I'll be able to connect with a bunch of kind of folks in the room along the way. My tip in terms of UTM and how to maximize your time at UTM is UTM can be such a close-knit community, and part of that is engaging with different elements on campus. So attending like clubs week or the student groups kind of fair in the first couple weeks of the semester is, I think, super important. It allows you to kind of get orientated to different clubs on campus and different clubs that might be of interest to you. This is also how you're probably going to build your social network and get to know who's kind of sitting beside you in your classrooms as well.
Great. Thank you so much, everybody, for joining me in today's session and to actually share your own tips about UTM. I agree with you, Susanna. This was being a UTM, previous UTM and proud alum. I actually really enjoyed participating in different events on campus, and I do encourage you to check them out and do get involved. All right, so thank you so much again for joining me facilitate the session, and let's get started. Right, so we'd like to start with an acknowledgement of traditional land. We wish to acknowledge, sorry, just 1 second. We wish to acknowledge this land on which the University of Toronto operates. For thousands of years, it has been the traditional land of the Wendat Nation, the Seneca, and the Mississaugas of the Credit. Today, this meeting place is still the home to many Indigenous people from across Turtle Island, and we are grateful to have the opportunity to work on this land. Right, so this is an overview of our agenda for today. As you can see, we have a lot to go over. So we'd like to first start with some key dates that you need to be mindful of. We'll then go on helping you understand your degree requirements, choosing your program, course selection, and we'll go over some planning resources that are available to you to help you throughout this process. And eventually, we'll share some next steps that would include payment method and student card, or what we refer to here at UTM as your T card. Right, and also like to mention a few housekeeping items before we jump into our main content. There will be 2 intermissions that we have planned for today, where I'll pass it over to our wonderful peer mentors who will be sharing their own experiences of first-year course enrollment and some tips, as well as some tips that they would like you to know. And also, you're encouraged to ask your questions here in the chat, or hold your questions if you'd like you. Towards the end, we will have a Q&A period at the end of this presentation to address any of the questions that you have. And so keep that in mind. Right. So as we have mentioned, we'd like to share some important key dates that you need to be mindful of. And one important date to be to consider is your course enrollment date. So make sure you mark this on your calendar. Your course enrollment day is the first day you would be able to actually go on Acorn and start enrolling in your courses. And that depends on, your course enrollment day depends on your year of study. So for our year 1 students, July 15th is your course enrollment date. For year 2 students, it's July 9th. And for year 3 students, it's July 2nd. And so once you've enrolled in your courses, you need to make sure that you register to guarantee and secure your spot in these courses that you've enrolled in. And to do so, there are 2 options. You need to either pay the minimum payment to register by this August 18th deadline, or defer your fees if you're eligible. So if in terms of fee deferral, that could be on the basis of a scholarship, if you're receiving a scholarship that covers that amount, minimum balance, or if it is, if you've applied for OSAB, then you would need to defer your fees by this August 18th deadline. Once you've enrolled in courses, sometime around mid-July is when you'll be able to see your Acorn invoice reflect and be updated with a minimum payment to register amount. And that is the amount you need to keep an eye on and make sure that you make a payment and pay that balance by the August 18th deadline, or defer your fees. And another important date is the first day of classes. This is September 8th, and that's when your first fall F or Y, the full year classes will be starting. So note that as well in your calendar. And The deadline to add or drop F and Y courses is September 21st. So if you've enrolled in your courses, but decide to change your mind about your course selection, you have the option to do so until September 21st. So make sure to note all of these important dates on your calendar. All right, so jumped in. All right, just before we talk about course and program planning, it's important for you to understand your degree structure. And so UTM offers 4 types of degrees. We have an Honors Bachelor of Arts, an Honors Bachelor of Science, a Bachelor of Commerce, and a Bachelor of Business Administration. And your degree consists of your degree requirements, which are the same for all students, and your program requirements, which are specific and depend on the choice of your program of study. So that's very important to kind of be mindful of. And your degree type is determined by your combinations of programs. And we'll talk about this in a bit. Right, so let's break down your degree requirements. So as I mentioned, as part of your degree, to earn your degree, all students have to complete a general set of requirements to earn your U of T degree. This includes completing 20 credits, earning a cumulative grade point average, or what we refer to as CGPA, of 1.85 or more by graduation, and other basic degree requirements. One of that is having to complete a minimum combination of programs. So that's your program of study, or also known as subject post. So you'll hear that term very often as you get started in your first year, and as we approach the course enrollment, the program selection period towards the end of your first year. And as part of your degree, you do need to complete a minimum combination of programs, and that is 1 specialist or 2 majors, or a major and 2 minors. You'd also need to complete your distribution requirements. So that's a total of 3 credits, and that includes 1 credit in humanities, 1 credit in social science, and 1 credit in science. And you'll also need to complete at least 20 credits in total. And that 20 credits cannot be all first year 100 level courses. So there's a minimum number at upper year courses that you'll need to complete as part of that. And that is 13 credits must be completed at the 200 level or higher. And 6 of these 13 credits must be at the 300 or 400 level. All right. So now, program of study. We have a wide range of programs here at UTM with over 180 programs to choose from. You can create an experience at UTM that is unique to you. So you might have wondered what is the difference between a specialist, a major, and a minor. So we'll kind of break that down now. So a specialist is the most focused area of study in a subject. And it does, out of your own 20 credits, it requires, the specialist requires completion of 10 to 18 credits. So that is about half or more of your minimum 20 credits towards the specific specialized area of study. Whereas a major is still a focused area of study, but less intensive than a specialist. And of your 20 credits required to graduate, a major will consist of 6.5 to 9 credits. And the minor program is a smaller concentration. So out of the 20 credits you need to complete, a minor consists of 4 to 4.5 credits. Right, so you can customize your degree whichever way that works best for you, and that meets your interests and goals. You can specialize and focus on 1 program, or combine up to 3 programs to diversify your interests and goals. Now, we did mention earlier that your degree type is determined by the combinations of programs you decide to pursue. We did also say that we do have 4 degree types, so it's important to consider that if you are interested in completing or graduating with a Bachelor of Commerce, you would have to complete a commerce specialist to be able to graduate with that type of degree. Similarly, with the BBA program, the Bachelor of Business Administration degree, you would have to complete a management specialist to be able to graduate with the Bachelor of Business Administration, or the BBA degree. Completing a commerce major would not lead to a Bachelor of Commerce degree. It will lead to either an honors Bachelor of Arts or an honors Bachelor of Science, depending on your other combinations of programs. Similarly, with the management major, if you complete a management major, that would not lead to a Bachelor of Business Administration. It will lead to either an honors Bachelor of Arts or an honors Bachelor of Science, again, based on your other combination of programs. So just be mindful that when choosing programs and deciding whether to specialize or to pursue either a double major or a major and two minors. But you can specialize and diversify your interests and goals whichever way that works best with your career goals and interests. Right, so now choosing your programs, there are 3 steps here that we'd like you to implement as you go through this exploration process and create your program plans. The first step is to explore. It's very important to know that first year is the best time to explore all of the academic options here at UTM. There are over 180 to choose from, and so we encourage you to use your first year and this time right now to actually go on the academic calendar and explore the list of course programs that we offer. You might come across a program that you have not heard about that you might be interested in looking at or pursuing. So do spend that time to explore. Your next step would be to prepare. So after you've explored the program options that you're interested in, make sure that you prepare. And so look at the programs. Do they have an enrollment requirements section on the academic calendar? If so, look at that enrollment requirements section and see what is it that you would need to be able to pursue this program. So some programs are more competitive than others, and the entry requirements are listed on in detail to help you prepare. So do have a look at that and see what courses you'll need to take, as well as what requirements you'll need to meet. And then the third step would be then to apply. So you will choose your program at the end of your first year or once you have earned a total of 4 credits. Right, so we do have 3 types of programs. So you'll often hear us refer to program types. Type 1 programs are unlimited. So these programs have unlimited space. They're open to all students. They don't have any entry requirements, and so will be automatically approved on Acorn. So as soon as you add them on Acorn, they become immediately active, and so they don't require departmental approval. These programs, if you look at the academic calendar, these programs will just have a completion requirements section. They will not list any enrollment requirements section. Now, we mentioned earlier that there are some programs more competitive than others, and so we also have type 2 and type 3 programs. Type 2 programs are competitive. These programs also, just like type 1 programs, have unlimited spaces, but these programs, type 2 programs, have entry requirements. So they have enrollment requirements that you will need to meet, and that could be completion of specific courses that are required, achieving certain grades in these courses, and or achieving a minimum CGPA. These type 2 programs have unlimited spaces, so as long as you meet the entry requirements, you'd be able to enroll in these programs. And that takes us to our type 3 programs. Type 3 programs are highly more competitive. These programs have limited spaces, so they're just like type 2 programs. They do have entry requirements, so you might have to meet completion of specific courses. So you'd have to complete specific courses, achieve certain grades in these courses, and or a minimum CGPA. But the difference between type 2 and type 3 programs is that type 3 programs, as mentioned, have limited spaces, and so meeting the minimum entry requirements that are listed on the academic calendar does not guarantee admission into the program. All right, so some key takeaways from the first part of this presentation is that take your time to explore UTM's programs and plan ahead. If possible, there are, if you look at the academic calendar, as we mentioned earlier, it's important to look at C&C and are there specific courses that you need to take? So do ask yourself that question, and that would help you kind of and answer the question of what courses do I need to take? So do explore the list of programs and prepare. It's another takeaway is that it is okay to change your mind or not know at this point what you want to study. First year is the perfect time to explore your options, and you can change courses and programs to find a good fit. So if you are exploring the list of the list of programs on the academic calendar, and you have maybe you come across a program that you haven't you've considered before, and now you actually are interested in this program, you can have a look at the list of courses. And if there are other courses that you have not yet enrolled in and you want to change the courses and programs, that is fine as well. So use this time to explore your options. And I do remember being in that spot where I was not really sure in my first year what programs I really wanted to pursue, and I took the time to explore and I do remember taking some courses where I was really interested in that area of study, and that made me change to my program options to pursue the new programs that I have now. So realize I have interest in. So do encourage you to explore, but it is as well. It is. I just wanted to know. I want you to know that it is normal to change your mind or not know about what programs you want to pursue at this time. And that takes us to our third takeaway: is that distribution requirements are courses that you would have to take or towards your degree requirements, but they can also help you explore other program areas. And I myself do recall that I have taken a course just out of to meet my distribution requirements, but then realize that this course is very interesting, and that also can open up opportunities for you to explore these program areas. So I do encourage you to consider taking your distribution requirements in your first year so that you can explore other program areas. And if you don't really enjoy these, if you don't find interest in these courses, these can count anyways towards your degree requirements. But if you actually end up enjoying a course, then and find interest in that course may turn into a program study that you actually pursue. So do keep that in mind. And as our fourth takeaway, we are here to help. We have UTM1 courses, which are 4-credit first year academic courses that you can take to help you build university level skills. So I do encourage you to consider and look into these courses. These courses could also count towards your distribution requirements. So if you're interested in taking a UTM1 course, do look at the timetable builder and look at the course description and see whether this course counts towards your humanities, social science, or science distribution. There's also the launch program. This is a program that is available to support you with the transition to your UTM studies. So I do encourage you to check it out as well. There is the Office of the Registrar. As we have mentioned, I am one of the academic advisors in the Office of the Registrar, and the academic advising team is here to support you through the course enrollment process. You're not alone in this, and we have many upcoming events and workshops that we encourage you to attend. We have two other course enrollment webinars that will be taking place, one this afternoon and one on July 6th. And even though they're focused on a different area of study, you're welcome to attend them. We also have upcoming course enrollment check-ins, as well as our course enrollment party on the day of your course enrollment to support you through the process and to help you with any questions that you have, as well as other supports after your course enrollment and throughout as you approach your first day of classes. So do encourage you to check out our website, our new student advising course enrollment page for any upcoming events. There's also the Career Center, which is a great resource that is available to you to help you with any questions that you have about career planning and career pathways. They have great resources, which include the program plans and the careers by major page. So if you haven't checked these out, I do encourage you to visit the Career Center. and review and go over that information. You may also speak with a career counselor if you'd like to discuss some career pathways associated with certain program options that you are considering, or vice versa, in terms of if you know if you have a career goal in mind and you're not sure what programs here at UTM that can help you achieve that goal, they'd be able to support you with this. All right, so now I'm gonna pass it over to our peer mentors for this section for our first intermission.
Thank you, Safa. So looking back at my first year at UTM, I remember feeling not sure about which programs I wanted to complete in the first place. Because of that, I wanted to take electives that would help me fulfill my degree requirements while still letting me explore my options.
That's interesting, Nkune. But I'm curious, and probably the students here would also be curious that what tools did you use, which help you manage this?
So I remember using the Degree Explorer for this one specifically. Sorry. So
Okay.
Degree Explorer, as you can see on the screen, that helped me pick electives that actually covered my distribution requirements.
That's nice. And yeah, degree expert is really helpful. And may I also ask you, like, how did you ensure that you were completing your program's enrollment requirements and also exploring your pathways or other courses or like electives and all of that?
Mm-hmm. So for that, I used the UTM academic calendar to look at the different program enrollment requirements, and I picked my courses based on what I found there. This was particularly helpful because my course choices in first year gave me flexibility to choose my program of study later on. It's what led me to pursue the program that I was most interested in, which is the economics program.
That's interesting. That's good to hear. And the flexibility provided through picking electives and exploring your program options was also like particularly my favorite part of first year as well. And as Nkune mentioned, and as my experience has always also been in my first year, I encourage you all to use tools such as the Degree Explorer and the academic calendar that we just talked about to remain informed about when you have to select your courses and when you have to enroll for them, what are the requirements, what are the prerequisites, what other options do you have, which may possibly lead to exploring something that you might not have thought of, but turns out to be great for you. So, on that note, good luck in your first year and have fun exploring your academic pathways.
Thank you so much, Inkun and Masood, for sharing that information. Right, so here are some next steps that based on as a summary in terms of what we have talked about in the past few slides. Again, we would like to stress the importance of exploring the calendar. Take your time, explore the site, and understand how to use it and how to navigate it to get what you need out of it. This is your first step. So the academic calendar has a lot of information, not only a list of the programs that we offer, but also other information that you need to know. It does include all of our policies. So if you want to look at the different policies, the university policies, understanding the CGPA and the different types of GPAs, academic standing. It is all on the academic calendar. So get yourself familiar with how to use it and bookmark it because it will be a great resource to use throughout your studies. And then the next step would be to explore your program options. So as we mentioned, the academic calendar is a great place, but I also recommend that you use a course enrollment workbook to help guide you through some important questions. It has a step-by-step guide in terms of the questions that you need to ask yourself to help you build that program plan. And so do encourage you to use it. And then your third step would be to explore your course options. So now that you have looked at the academic calendar, you've explored the program options, then you'd be able to kind of explore the course options that you would have. And you can ask yourself the question of how many courses should I take? Or what is a full-time course load? How do I read course codes? So maybe these are some questions that you currently have, and we'll answer all of these questions for you in the next few slides. All right, so reading the calendar. Course codes provide you with important information at a glance. So when you look at a course code, it already provides certain information about that course. So let's break it down for you. So course codes provide you with important information. And when you look at a course code, it gives you information about what program the course belongs to, what level the course is at. So is it a first year, second year, or third or fourth year course? The credit value, when it is being offered, which campus is offering the course. So we here have an example. We're using the example of English, so ENG 101, H5F. So if you look at the first 3 characters of any course code, that information provides information about the department offering the course. So in this example, ENG means that this course is being offered by the English department. If you look at the first number, now this is after the 3 characters. If you look at the first number, that gives you information about the level of study. So 100 level courses are first year courses, so first year introductory courses, whereas 400 level courses are the most advanced courses and intended for upper year students. So if you look at this course, this is a 100 level course, this is a first year course. Right, so now looking at the full number, so together, these numbers identify each course in the calendar, timetable, and Acorn. And a very important tip is that you need to pay close attention to this number, because changing just 1 digit here can make all the difference between enrolling in a completely different course. So in this example, how to read critically or how to research literature. So this English 101 course is a course and that is titled How to Read Critically, versus another course with just a single change in that number. So English 10 ENG 102 H5 is actually a completely different course, and that is How to Research Literature. So when you go on Acorn to add your courses, make sure that you actually pay close attention to the full course load, to the full course code, because then that would identify which course you would enroll in. So refer to the timetable builder, the academic calendar, and Acorn to check that ensure that you are enrolling in the correct courses. Right now, the 7th character will tell you what the course weight is. So you'll often see this character as either H or Y. The H means that this course is a 0.5 credit course, whereas the Y means this course is a 1 credit course. So in this example, this ENG 101 H5 F, the H notes that, or tells you that this course is a 0.5 credit. Right now, the next number you see here indicates which campus the course is being offered at. So in this example, 5 means that this course is offered at UTM. So whenever you see a 5 after this H or Y letter, this means that this course is being offered at UTM. Now, if you see a 1, that course is offered at the Faculty of Arts and Science, which is the St. George campus. And if you see a 3, it means that that course is offered at the UTSC Scarborough campus. Right, so fun fact to share with you is that you can take courses at other campuses. So UTM students are eligible to take courses at a different campus, provided that that course is open to UTM students and you meet all the course prerequisites, co-requisites. However, if you do or wish to take a course at a different campus and want to know if that course counts towards your UTM programs, you would have to consult with the relevant department at UTM here to see if they would accept that course towards your UTM programs. But if you're welcome to take courses at a different campus, if you wish to maybe complete your distribution requirements there or take electives, as well. We do, however, recommend that you reserve your first year to UTM courses and explore maybe taking courses at different campuses, the other different campuses in your upper years. That way, taking these first year courses, your UTM at least allows you to explore the UTM courses, and so may help you also explore the program options that you have. And so it's very important to pay close attention to the academic calendar because some also programs list under their enrollment sections that you need, as part of the enrollment requirements, a minimum of 4.0 UTM credits. And so that's something to be mindful of when you are looking to or considering taking courses at a different campus. So that's a very important note. All right, so now the last letter in a course code will be an F, an S, or a Y. So what this means is that this is the session that a course is being offered and the academic duration of the course. So if we're looking at a course offered in the fall-winter session, if you see an F in that last letter, that means the course is offered from September to December. So that's in the fall semester. If we're talking about a summer course, an F in a summer course code means that the course is being offered from May to June. If you see an S in a fall-winter session, that means the course is offered from January to April, so in a winter session. Or if we're talking about summer courses, an S means the course is being offered from July to August. And if you see a Y, that means it's a full year course. So it is offered from September all the way to April. If we're talking about fall winter session courses, if it is a summer course and you see a Y, then that means the course is being offered from May all the way to August. So throughout the entire summer session. All right, so now I'm going to also pass it over to our peer mentors for this second intermission.
Thank you. I wanted to ask a question from Masood. How did you go about building your timetable in your first year? And for me, I remember feeling a little overwhelmed trying to fit everything together.
Yeah, same. Like, honestly, it was quite challenging at first and quite overwhelming. Because each courses have different lectures, tutorials, and labs, and I see a lot of questions in the chat as well. Whether you're required to do both or one is enough. So it was quite challenging for me to see how everything would fit together. And that's where the UTM timetable builder was a very, very big help because I could create different versions of my schedules. I could see which lecture would fit in my required schedule, whether I want to take a morning one or afternoon one if it's available. And I could easily catch conflicts even before the enrollment opened. So it just eased out my way throughout the course enrollment. So it was really, really helpful.
I agree. It's an excellent tool, and I still use the timetable builder now as an upper year student going into my third year. For example, just to see the course syllabuses from previous years, to check the course, to get more information on the course itself, and then were there any other resources that helped you when you were enrolling for the first time in your first year?
Along with the timetable builder as we talked about, I think the course enrollment workbook was also really great. I know the latest one is out now. So basically, it breaks down everything into manageable steps while you are enrolling, and it helps you figure out which courses you should prioritize and how to plan for your program requirements and electives. And it also tells you where to find the important enrollment resources. And I remember what I did was like I filled it out before my enrollment date started. And that in that way, I just felt way more prepared, even before the course enrollment day started. So it along with the timetable builder, I would say course enrollment workbook was a great resource for me.
I completely agree. I love the new student course enrollment workbook. I saw that it was posted on the new student course enrollment website already. The workbook was actually a great starting point for me because it made the whole process feel less intimidating, less overwhelming, and I also recommend attending the check-ins, check-in sessions, and asking questions if you're unsure about something. And there are in general so much support available here, and you don't have to figure it out all on your own.
Yeah, I would 100% agree with you and QA. And I would also recommend you guys to try out the timetable builder, the course enrollment workbook, and most importantly, because coming from my own experience, I was really afraid to ask for help. So don't be afraid to ask for help. Everyone is here to support you guys, whether it be course enrollment or any other area while you're coming in as a first year, entering UTM. So, course enrollment, particularly, can seem very stressful at first. And I remember as well how stressed I was. But trust me, once you start exploring your options and once you start getting familiar with all these resources, it just gets much more manageable. So, on that note, good luck to everyone and welcome to UTM.
Great, thank you so much. These are great tips. So just to add, the timetable builder is a great place to check to see what courses are offered for the fall winter session. And if you actually look at the timetable builder, if you see a course that has a lecture, tutorial, and a practical, make sure to enroll in one of each. So you do need to enroll in one of each. So that's a great thing to be mindful of when you're looking at the timetable builder and also enrolling in courses on Acorn. All right, so now you might be wondering about course loads. So these are here are some general guidelines. So for university purposes, full-time status is determined by the number of credits you enroll in. And so if you enroll in 3 credits or more in the fall-winter session, you're considered a full-time student. If you enroll in between 0.5 to 2.5 credits in the fall-winter session, that is considered a part-time status. So it's important to be mindful of course loads because, and also consider how a definition of a course load may be for university purposes may be different from for other purposes. So if you're have applied, for example, for OSAB, how OSAB determines full-time course loads may be different than how the university defines that. And so being mindful of this is important to kind of and make sure that you look and understand OSAB's minimum course load requirements, let's say, to be considered for full-time funding eligibility. Or if you are a student in receipt of a scholarships, you need to ensure that you check the terms and conditions of your scholarship and ensure what is it that you need to maintain in terms of course loads and other requirements. Or if you are an international student, it's important to be mindful of the course load requirements that you need to maintain for purposes of study permit or other immigration-related matters. And speaking of our international students, so we do have the support here on campus. Our UTM's International Education Center offers free immigration advising and programming support for all international students. And that includes immigration advising, transition support and programming, university health insurance plan, or what we refer to as your UHIP, global learning opportunities, if you're interested in opportunities to study abroad or through exchange, and employment support. So I do encourage you, if you are an international student, to connect with our International Education Center for support. All right, so here are some tips that we'd like you to pay close attention to and be mindful of. We do get a lot of questions about this, so it's important to share this. So the standard course load in the fall winter is 5 credits generally. So if you are looking to, or if your plan is to graduate in 4 years without taking any summer courses, then doing 5 credits per each year, so in each of the fall winter sessions over 4 years will allow you to complete 20 credits to graduate. So now many full-time students take fewer than 5 credits in the fall winter and enroll in the summer session. If you wish to maybe leave some time to participate in extracurriculars, or if you have other commitments, you might want to consider that option if you and enroll in summer session if you wish to still complete your degree within 4 years. If you wish to have that completed within that time frame, but not take 5 credits in each of the fall winter session, then enrolling in the summer session is an option for you. And it's also important to note that you need to ensure that you have a conflict-free schedule. You make sure you remove conflicts from your schedule. You cannot be in two places at the same time. And so Acorn will not block you from enrolling in courses that have a conflict. It is your responsibility to ensure that you work through that conflict. You may look at the timetable builder and the academic calendar and see if there are any other sections that you can enroll in to avoid that conflict, or look at your courses and see which courses you will need to prioritize and which courses can wait until a future session. But you do need to ensure that you have a conflict-free schedule. And we do have a policy in the event that you do keep a conflict in your schedule with two courses being offered at the same time. You would not be able to receive any accommodations should you decide to keep that conflict, and should these courses have conflicting tests or exams. And so that's very important to note. So do look at the timetable builder, use that option to build a conflict-free schedule, plan ahead prior to your course enrollment date to build that schedule. And then once you have that schedule, add these courses to your enrollment cart on Acorn. So you have that option so that as soon as your course enrollment start time begins, you can go ahead on Acorn and just enroll in these courses that are on your cart. Right, so other useful tips. You can still make changes to your timetable throughout the summer with no penalties. We did mention earlier in the presentation that you have until September 21st to add or make changes to your fall and Y courses, so F and Y courses. So do be mindful of that. But once classes begin, you become responsible for any fees or academic work in the course, even if you do not attend. So if you do not want to keep a course, make sure that you drop it if you no longer want it as soon as possible. We have, so September 21st is the last day to add or make changes to your F and Y courses, or to drop F courses for 100% course fee refund. So being mindful of the academic and financial deadlines is very important. And there is a link here on the slides to our important dates page where it lists it has a full list of all the academic and financial deadlines. So if you want to drop a course to receive a refund or some refund, you might want to refer to that to see when that deadline is. But it's very important that if you do not want a course, to make sure that you drop it, because if you don't, then you remain responsible for any fees and any academic work in the course. All right. And right, so now other frequently asked questions that we get, and one of these questions would be, what courses should I take? And you might be wondering the same as well. As we have mentioned, try to prioritize the required courses for your programs. You will need these courses to apply for the programs at the end of your first year. So your priority would be to enroll in the courses required for the programs you are interested in and you're interested in applying to. So look at the academic calendar, see what these courses are for the program options that you want, and then you make sure that you go on the academic calendar and add them to your enrollment cart after creating that conflict-free schedule on the timetable builder. And as soon as your course enrollment starts, you can start enrolling in these courses. It's also very important to consider your interests, academic strengths, and don't be afraid to try something new. Your first year is a great time to explore and complete your electives or distribution requirements that you need for graduation. So we do recommend that you also look into these courses. You will also choose your programs at the end of the winter term. So that's at the end of the fall-winter session. We will have program selection periods where you would be able to apply for your type 2 or type 3 programs. So that's when you would be able to apply for these programs. So plan ahead and prepare. All right, so now we're gonna have a little, we have a mock timetable. So we'll look at the timetable and how it may look for somebody who's interested in a commerce program. So this student decided to enroll in these courses. So the student first looked at the academic calendar, looked at the courses required to apply for the commerce program, and looked and used use the timetable builder as a tool. As our wonderful peer leaders have suggested that it was a very useful tool. So I do encourage you to use that and look at the courses that you need for the commerce program first. And so in this example, the student decided that looked at the academic calendar and has added their Eco 101 course. They added the MGM 101, the Math 135. So all these three courses are they're required for the program to apply for the program at the end of their first year, and these courses are offered in the fall term. So look at the timetable builder. The student has added these courses and also decided to take some electives or distribution requirements. So we can see on Monday, the student has their first class that starts at 11 until 1 p.m. They decided to take a UTM 118 course. So this is one of the UTM 1 courses that we have talked about earlier to meet their distribution requirements. This is looking at the course code. We can see that this is a UTM course, so a 0.5 credits. So we can see here the H here tells us that. We can see that this is a lecture section, so you can see the LEC on this calendar. You might also want to look at the so the student looked at the timetable builder and also noticed that there is a tutorial section with this course, so they added that as well. That is for Monday. You can also see that on Tuesday, the student added English 101 as an elective to meet their distribution requirements. They also have their Eco 101, and you can see that these courses they look like they're back to back. But we do have something here at UTM that we call UTM timing, or the 10-minute rule, where classes start usually 10 minutes after the scheduled hour to allow you for some time to move between buildings on campus. So it is okay if you have these classes back to back. And in this also, we can see that student has a 1-hour break, and then they have their Math 135 lecture section followed by their English 101 tutorial. And so you can also see that the student does not have any classes on Wednesday. And it's okay you can build again your schedule whichever way that works best for you, with keeping in mind that you do need to prioritize your program requirements, as well as having a minimum of 4.0 credits if you wish to apply for these programs at the end of the first year. But this might be different than high school, where you might have days where you have a few classes, whereas some days that you have a schedule full of classes back to back. So you are in charge of building your own schedule, so you can look at the timetable builder and see what sections that you would be interested in adding, which sections have space available. You would then create that timetable builder as you wish. And so you can see that the student has no classes in the morning on Thursday, but then they have their Eco 101 tutorial, as well as followed by their Math 135 lecture, then their Math 135 tutorial, and their MGM 101 tutorial. And then we can also look at the Friday sections, where we see that the student has their MGM 101 lecture, and followed by a little bit of a break, and then their Math 135 lecture. Something to actually, you might notice that the student has a lecture section, says that they have 2 lecture sections for Eco 101 and MGM 101 on Saturday. So if you look at the timetable builder, it's important to review any notes that are available under the lecture section. So if you look at the timetable builder, at this time, you might not be able to add Eco 101 lecture sections on your timetable as you build it on the timetable builder, because the timetable builder doesn't allow or doesn't have that feature to add courses with a Saturday section onto the timetable builder. But it's okay. You'd still be able to enroll in these courses. It's just that it won't allow you at this time to add it to the timetable builder. But if you actually look at the, sorry, I'm not sure what happened here. Yeah, if you look at the timetable builder, you'll see that there is a note that says Saturday, the 9 to 11 for Eco 101 is reserved to tests or quizzes for all sections on select dates. And so your instructor will provide the specific dates in the course syllabus or at the start of the course. And if you're enrolled in two courses with the same time reserved for tests or quizzes, you can disregard the course conflict for that purpose. So if you see the Saturday 9 to 11 and you see that note, you can then disregard that conflict because these are scheduled conflicts. And so the tests or quizzes will be scheduled on different weeks, or you may contact your instructor for alternate arrangements. So always pay attention to any notes that are available on the timetable builder for any of the courses you wish to enroll in. All right. Okay, so now, yeah, and then same thing, the student would be building their winter schedule as well, and would need to make sure that they enroll in their, oh, I see, so it's not Eco 102 here, it should be Eco 101. I just wanted to make a note of that. It is Eco 102 is offered in the second subsession of, in the winter session. So always pay attention to what courses are offered in the fall or winter sessions. So pay close attention to that. And you would also have to build your winter schedule as well. So check the enrollment controls. That's also something else to note. So aside from checking the notes that are available on the timetable builder, it's very important that you check the enrollment controls that you see on the academic calendar, on the timetable builder. Enrollment controls limit initial enrollment to students who meet very specific criteria. And this doesn't mean that you can't take these courses. It just means that simply you would have to wait and try again at a later date. So one type of example of an enrollment control is when you see a P on the enrollment controls section. So that means if you expand that, you'll be able to see the information provided. So in this example, priority is given to certain groups of students to enroll first, and then the course becomes available to other UTM students at a later date. So if you see that, it just means that you would be able to enroll in this course later if you're not part of any of the groups listed on under that. So do pay close attention to this. Okay. All right, now next steps. So as we promised earlier, we will be talking about next steps, which include payment methods. It's very important that you secure your spot in the courses you choose by paying or deferring your fees. So when you enroll, if you go on your Acorn dashboard, you'll be able to see that your current status is invited. Now, you're invited to enroll in courses and you can enroll in courses, but once you've enrolled in your courses, you need to ensure that you register to secure your spot in courses. And so there are two options to do so, as we mentioned earlier. The first option is to make the minimum payment to register. So you need to pay that amount, that balance that you see on your invoice. And some payment options include through your bank or a credit card, through Acorn or through your higher ed points. And there is also the deferral options if you're eligible in the basis of you've applied for student aid for a government student aid like OSAB, or on the basis of a scholarship that covers your minimum payment to register amount. All right, so once you have actually registered, you should be able to see that your Acorn dashboard has changed, the status has changed from invited to registered, and that means you're registered and now you're actually in you're not going to be financially canceled or removed from these courses. So it's very important to pay attention to these deadlines and make sure that you do so before the deadline that we have discussed about earlier. All right, now next steps. So now this is the last slide of our presentation, and we'd like for you to consider these next steps. So again, choosing your courses. It's very important to know that when your course enrollment starts, you would choose courses for both your fall and winter term. Now you can still make changes later, but it's important that you enroll in them now and enroll in them as soon as possible because courses fill up quickly. And so plan ahead, look at the academic calendars we have mentioned, and use that along with the timetable builder and to build that schedule and prepare and add these courses to your enrollment card on Acorn so that as soon as your course enrollment begins, you can go ahead and just click on enroll in these courses. You would then, as mentioned, pay or defer your fees to register. You need to complete your registration by paying or deferring your tuition fees once they're available on Acorn. So monitor your tuition invoice on Acorn. There's the T-Card and U of T account. So book a T-Card appointment to gain access to your U of T student services, including your university email, Wi-Fi access, and more. There's a link here on the slide for our T-Card office. Well, right. And we have recorded this presentation, so it will be available to you once posted for your review of all the information we have shared today with you, as well as the links that we have shared. So I do encourage you to, we don't expect you to memorize everything. It is a lot of information we have shared today, but you're welcome to revisit the information and review the slides and the recording of this presentation once available. There are ways to connect with us. So this is not the end of the support that you have. As we have mentioned, we have so we are here to support you throughout this process, throughout the summer session. So you're not alone in this process. And there are ways to connect with us. If you haven't visited, if you haven't been to the, if you don't know where we are in the Innovation Complex. This is the Office of the Registrar. We're in the Rotunda. I encourage you to, if you're on campus or plan on coming soon, to come and see where we are and get familiar with the different buildings here at UTM. But we do have, as mentioned, if you visit our website and the new student advising page where we have the links here on the slides to look for our upcoming events and workshops, and strongly encourage you to attend these. Now, we're moving to our Q&A period. So if you have any questions, it's the time now to ask these if you haven't already done so in the chat. So we're just going to stop recording so you can ask your questions. And yeah, so thank you so much for attending this presentation. I'm just going to now open it for our Q&A time.